Meet Dave of Delusions of Grandeur, actor, producer, and director of films like Tales of the Forgotten. He has come to assemble a team of freaks, geeks, and even worse, film nerds, to discuss films ranging from mainstream to downright crazy. There is Tammy, car enthusiast, and Dave's fiance, Dustin, reptile expert and overall horror collector, Jake, environmentalist and fine art film critic, and finally Brandon, a therapist with a love of film that can only be seen as insanity. Together under Dave's leadership, they are inside movies galore. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show.
The heel.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to it. Pardon me. Welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Delusions of Grandeur, where we are dragging bodies in the background. But in any case, probably because we are going to go on about a film that our good friend Boris has decided to subject us with. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the movie that you decided to have us watch?
So the movie I chose this time was The Good Son from 1993 with Macaulay Culkin, Elijah Wood. I'm sorry, I'm not at my computer right now, so I don't have IMDb here at hand to read the director's name.
Oh, that would be Joseph Ruben. And let me quickly go to IMDb here. IMDb, and then The Good Son, and okay, so IMDb says this about the movie. A young boy stays with his aunt and uncle and becomes friends with his cousin, a boy of the same age who shows increasing signs of violence and psychopathic behavior.
Oh, that sounds pretty much accurate.
Yep, and not as vague as they normally are either, so.
Indeed. So,
but Wendy Crossan plays Susan. David Morse plays Jack, which, if you don't know anything about David Morse, then you are seriously deranged. Because he's played in The Green Mile. He's played in a television show that I know called Blind Spot. I believe that he also was the played a serial killer in a movie that I'm trying to remember the name of. What was it? Going backwards. He played in Horns. He played in Drive Angry. He acted in Medium. He acted in Passengers. Oh, Disturbia. Yeah, he was in Disturbia. As the serial killer next door. He was also in Hearts in Atlantis, Dancer in the Dark, The Negotiator. He was in Contact. He was in The Long Kiss Goodnight. He was in The Rock. He was in 12 Monkeys. He was in Tecumseh the Last Warrior.
Okay.
But in any case, but he plays the father of Elijah Wood's character in here. So, in any case, back to you, Boris. Are you ready to take over?
Oh yes, yes I am. So, was this the first time you saw this movie, and what were your first impressions?
Me myself, this was definitely not my first time. One of my friends in high school. This was like one of his favorite movies. So I swear we watched it over and over several times, and he ended up giving me a copy later on. And you wanted to watch it for the show, so we all watched it, and it's kind of like your classic Jekyll and Hyde type movie, except without all the chemicals and whatnot. You got one good son, one bad son. Yeah,
Yeah, but they are not in the same body.
correct, and they're not in the same technically family either. They're cousins. Or,
True.
but in any case, I enjoy it for what it is. Macaulay Culkin. Well, uh, I'm trying to think whether this was before or after Home Alone because he was. They were definitely Home Alone once in this movie.
Uh,
Like
well, I
I
think this
swear
was.
the kids were way too fucking young for the parents to even leave them home alone.
Huh. Well, true. Although I think this movie was after Home Alone, I'm not sure, but Macaulay Culkin looked at least a little bit older here than he was in Home Alone.
Not by much.
Well, not only were the boys home alone, they had the little girl to watch besides. You know. So.
Well,
True.
yeah, that is true. And I'm not sure how far away this was from the movie Radio Flyer, because that was the movie that introduced me to Elijah Wood. Um, so I feel like Macaulay Culkin did a stream of films around this time, because they were trying to catch his kidness. I believe he was an Uncle Buck somewhere around here. And I know he was. I know he played in Richie Rich, I think.
Oh yeah, that too. There was that movie, I forgot its title, where he got stung by bees and died.
Oh, trying to understand which that one was. Unless that one was his brother, because Rory Culkin actually
No,
played in a few movies.
I'm pretty sure it was Macaulay Culkin, but I forgot the title of the movie. There was this one famous scene when he was already dead, and a female friend of his insisted on putting the glasses on his body.
Hmm. Trying. Oh, was that My Girl?
Could be.
That might be My Girl. But yeah. Um. I, I'm entertained by this movie because this made you hate Macaulay, whereas Home Alone kind of endeared you to him just a little bit because what kid doesn't want to be home alone, you know? But
Oh
Um, I mean, the things that you can do when your parents are away.
yeah. Pretty much.
Hey, what your mother doesn't know doesn't hurt her.
Okay, what kind of examples do you have on mind? Assuming you're not talking quite about the stuff that happens in this movie.
No comment, but if you feel guilty, the shoe fits. Anyways. Um, hey, it's not like you got caught with your mother's lipstick and spread it on your face to make it look like a clown or anything like that. So,
Now, where did that come from?
I have no idea. It was just random, but you're not guilty of that, are you?
Not quite of that. But there was a time when I was preparing a cosplay that required a ring, and I took my mother's ring and stuck it on my finger, and it was a little too small, couldn't take it off. We had to cut it with pliers, and she was kind of pissed at me when that happened.
Ah. But
Yeah.
in any case, we have we have definitely some shenanigans going on in this movie, and I'm sure we'll get to it. But I like it for what it is. It shows Elijah Wood and Macaulay Culkin still as kids, and I don't know what it is, but Elijah Wood still doesn't look like the age that he is. For some reason, even though he played Frodo Baggins and whatnot, he still looks young. And Macaulay Culkin, well, if you've seen him nowadays, he's not that cute looking anymore. But
Uh, yes,
I
true.
know that he runs some wrestling podcasts or whatnot these days, but he kind of doesn't share the line like ever since his Teenage Monster movie. Hollywood's kind of blacklisted him.
Oh,
But in any case, um, why don't we head over to Tammy and what her thoughts on this movie was? Was this a first time watch for you?
No, I've seen it a few times beforehand. Um, I don't know if I saw this one first or the movie The Bad Seed first, but I know I've seen both of them, and they're kind of similar in ways. You know,
Yeah,
um,
I can see why you're going down that route.
and I think when I saw it the first time, what um, got me was well, I knew what it was about, and then to see Macaulay Culkin as something different, you know, was I thought was going to be interesting, which it was. I think I think he pulls it off. He at least had like the right attitude. It seemed like in the right like facial expressions at the right times and stuff too, where he had like that kind of like a almost like a haunting kind of look, So
Psycho Child.
yeah,
Damien, little Damien.
yep.
oh, I would say this one is worse than Damien because Damien actually didn't do that much on his own. It was more like shit happening around him. This one directly does stuff.
Yeah, He does. And I swear that cat looked exactly like Melissa.
Yeah.
I,
Oh,
I,
I
I was
know. I totally forgot about that part when I watched it.
I totally forgot about it too.
And then the cat comes out. I'm like, oh my god, he better not kill that cat. But he didn't.
Yeah, because that cat kind of looks like my little Melissa.
Yeah, I'm glad that cat survived.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I did. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, like I said, yeah, I've seen it before, and I've watched it more than once. So it's not that I watched it once and then okay, now I gotta watch it again for this thing. No, I've watched it more than once on my own just to watch it. So it was evidently I liked it because otherwise I wouldn't have watched it on my own more than once. So
Oh, so you
yep,
want a kid? You want a kid what was his name in here?
Henry.
I know, huh?
Uh,
Henry.
Henry.
Yeah,
Henry, yes.
which is funny because there is a movie called Henry, the Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Uh,
Ah,
and you know what else is interesting? In my novel series, I have a character of a young psychopath, not quite this young, but a teenager, and also an iconic fact about him, like his iconic personality trait, is that he is unusually skillful, and it's in the story it's meant to be shocking how capable he is of doing bad things at the age of only 16. And I named that character Henry after this movie.
Ah,
what we were saying, Dave, how would I like to have a kid like Henry?
yeah.
I already got you.
Ha! I thought you
Ouch!
were going to mention the Dur, but
He's just a
our
bratty cat.
our son.
He's just a bratty cat.
What makes. Did you, Tabby, just say that Dave is as bad as Henry?
No, I don't do stupid shit like that.
Yeah, I just thought that Tabby was implying that.
I haven't created my own crossbow to kill animals or create.
You try to get people to believe you when you have done wrong.
What are you talking about? I don't do anything wrong.
See?
I don't do anything wrong.
Interesting.
I'm innocent.
See what I mean though? You try though. We all know better. That's the problem.
I am innocent. I'm an angel.
Yeah.
Remember,
uh,
you're the devil in disguise.
Don't you know it?
But in any
Okay.
case,
uh,
what about you, Boris? When did you? Was this the first time watch for you?
well, no, it wasn't the first time. I think this was my third time. The first time was, I'm not sure, 2012 or 2013, when I was watching quite several movies, horror movies with evil children, like The Ring, Silent Hill, The Omen, Case 39, The Orphan, and things like that. So this one drew my attention as well back then. Uh, and uh, yeah, after that I saw it twice. And the first time I watched it, maybe since some people consider this a horror movie, even though it's more like a thriller, maybe I expected it to be a little more hardcore than it was, but it's
It's
still
very
good
subtle.
enough. I'm sorry, what?
I would have to say it's very subtle.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Uh, but it was still very good and quite suspenseful, and it's very impressive how Macaulay Culkin can go from uh, goofy, funny kid from Home Alone to this.
Psycho
There,
killer. Psycho killer.
is
Ba
it?
ba 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 ba
Oh,
ba ba ba.
oh yeah, I love that song. It's on my Halloween playlist. Talking Heads, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Uh, there was a time when I was discussing this movie with someone online, someone who didn't watch it, and the guy was like, Kevin McAllister as a psychopath character. There is no way I would take a movie like that seriously. And I said, okay, keep that mindset and watch the movie. But he probably didn't watch it after all.
Probably not, but it is an entertaining a movie to show how you know when you're a kid and uh, you're not believed. Maybe it's better that you actually listen to your kids and
Oh,
see what they're going through. Because if you just go through life being an ignorant parent and not like talking to your kids and on an everyday basis instead of just you know letting them have whatever the heck they want and let them play to their own devices and whatnot. You don't really get to know your kids. I mean, uh, I know we haven't exactly gone through this plot by plot yet, but the mother is in her own world because she's missing the child that she lost. The father is engulfed in his work, um, and uh, Mark's own father can't really seem to deal with the fact that his wife has in fact died. So he just probably more because he needs to work to provide for his son now. Um,
yes, he was on a business trip, from what I understood, for 2 weeks.
correct, but yeah, a lot can happen in 2 weeks, as we can see. Although it seems like it seems like Mark and Henry seem to spend more time than just 2 weeks to bond so well together. I guess, um, at least at first, because they seem like regular boys when you first have see them together. You know,
Oh, at first, yes.
because he kicks him and he kicks him back, and finally you see some life coming back into Mark because he's laughing a little bit, you know. But and it seems like they become like almost like the best of bosom friends, you know.
At first, yeah.
But why don't you take us through the plot?
Oh, yes. Just give me a minute to open the Wikipedia page. Oh, here it is. So, yeah, at the very beginning, we see Mark visiting his mother at the hospital. The mother is very sick, apparently, and dying. We didn't find out what exactly she was suffering from, or did we?
I assumed it was cancer or something like that.
I
It wasn't.
assumed it was cancer too because when later on when Henry tries to give him a cigarette, he said,
Ah,
uh, "Those give you cancer." And the way he said it, it seemed like that struck a nerve with him.
yes. Yes, so it was probably cancer, and maybe she was, maybe also because of cigarettes.
Well,
It,
yeah. I remember seeing that part, and I was like, Macaulay.
what, you are still
You're you're
surprised?
you're way too young to be smoking that early. I mean, I know I started early, but not that early.
Oh, yes, fortunately I have not started, and I hope I never will.
Well, good man. Don't start.
Thanks.
It's an expensive habit.
Among other things, yes, aside from being bad for health, it really is a major drainage of money.
But in any case, back to the storyline.
Oh, yes, so uh, before the mother dies, Mark says he's not going to let her die, but there is essentially nothing he could have done.
Well,
And
he still thinks that she's going to be coming back.
so, yeah, he somehow thinks so. In a way, he starts seeing her in his aunt later on. Somehow.
Which is understandable. The boy just lost his mother, and his father just left him with family. So of course he's gonna find some residual likeness in the look of his aunt or whatnot.
True. So yeah, shortly after the mother dies, the father receives some business offer which requires him to take a business trip to Tokyo. And apparently he is hesitant about going because of how it might affect Mark, but Wallace, his brother, convinces him that it's for the best because it's apparently a very good job offer. And later he says, I'm leaving now, so I never have to leave you again, which implies he is going to make some really good money there. Uh, and yeah, everyone thinks nothing bad can happen since Mark will be staying with another part of the family and in an environment with other children, which is expected to be good for him, right?
Right, but they don't count on the fact that they stuck him with a therapist that seems to think he's a sick and demented little child because he refuses her therapy.
Huh. Yeah, uh, at the beginning, at the beginning of those therapy sessions, yeah, even before he starts having issues with Henry, he is quite introverted about his mother and doesn't want to talk about her, which does suggest him having some severe emotional issues, which in turn discredits him later on when he tries to raise voice about Henry.
Correct.
Ooh,
And of course, since he's the outsider in the family, no one believes it. Well, First off, we got to talk about some of the things that he witnesses in Henry's uh, presence, where he pretty much almost misses killing a cat. He kills a dog. Um, he drops a dummy in front of some cars that are coming under a bridge, which causes a car huge traffic accident, and
Uh,
he's just smiling, like grinning at the whole thing, like it was his enjoyment, you know.
yeah, like not even he's not even that scared of getting caught,
Nope.
which I think is another trait of psychopaths.
Yep. So
Uh, yeah, and Henry also makes some unsettling remarks, like when he is pulling Mark up to that tree house. He says something like, "If I let you go now, do you think you could fly?"
yep, and that's not the only time that he mentions flying either, because he mentions flying later when he's talking about once you realize that you don't have to be afraid, you can pretty much fly.
huh.
When he's talking to Mark later on, once you realize you don't have to be afraid of anything anymore, and you can fly free and break free from your emotions and have a sense of freedom to be yourself. But by this time, I think Henry has already separated himself from the flock, you know, as being psychopathic.
Yes, yes. Although one thing this movie kind of makes me wonder is if Henry was so bad, how come it took Mark's arrival for it to be exposed? How come he didn't already try to kill his sister and all that stuff even before Mark was there?
I think Mark. I think there was some jealousy. I think there was definitely some huge jealousy factors going on because the mother was starting to have affection for Mark, and even Mark, in a daring conversation against him, said that your mother is now my mother. Type of words, and that was shortly before Henry said, "Don't fuck with me."
Oh,
Well,
oh
I
yes.
think some of it too is he um Mark showed more interest and affection to the sister than Henry ever did. And I think what it is Henry Henry wanted to be the center of attention. So now Mark is getting attention. Now Marcus giving the sister attention.
Uh,
You know, so I think in a way it was jealousy because and Mark being there basically set him off. But he had already been set off but nobody realized it because he killed his little brother. You know.
well, yeah, and The whole
I'm
reason.
sorry, I had a phone call.
Oh, okay.
What were you saying?
I think a lot of it was jealousy and Mark based that, once Henry had gotten rid of the little brother, okay, he became more the center of attention. And Mark shows up. So now Mark's getting attention and Mark's giving the sister attention, and all of a sudden he's not the center of attention anymore. So now we gotta start all over. We already got rid of the little brother, you know.
Well,
Ah,
and at first, Henry thinks that he can get along with Mark, and they can be like the best buds, brothers, and I think at first he thinks that he can turn him into liking him and what he does. It's like he's showing off, you know, to
Yeah, that
to
might be
him.
that's part of it, maybe. If he thinks
Um,
he's got a partner in crime.
yeah, and at first he kind of does because that's what Mark wants to do. He wants to act out a little bit, be a kid, you know. But it's the wrong kind of attention, and I think Mark realizes that he's. It's not that he's weak. He is a good kid deep down
Well, yeah, he went along with throwing the stones through the glass windows, and
because it was fun.
right. He went along with some of the little things that weren't going to cause a problem, and then things started escalating, and then he started to get uncomfortable, because he liked his gadget that he built, and and right away he's like, don't hit the cat, don't hit the kitty, and you know that Henry was going to aim to hit the cat.
Yeah,
He was
yes.
going to. But I think he realized it was a little bit too soon to do that in front of him. So he purposely missed it.
yep,
Yes.
It was like he was almost like priming him for when he was going to actually do something, which the first act is the dog, you know.
yeah. Which I don't know about you, but that dog was seemed like it was kind of mean.
Well, the
Actually,
dog
yes.
seemed like it was mean and everything, but that doesn't mean go kill it.
No, true. It was innocent at the time that it was killed because it was
Uh,
just walking along the bridge.
And
uh,
we don't know for sure if that bridge that they took, that walkway, since it had a gate at both ends,
Yeah,
maybe that was somewhere that they weren't supposed to be. That might have been
correct.
somebody's property, and that dog chasing them was protecting its property.
Yep, that's a possibility too.
So, because we see them running through graveyards or running through other yards
Well, yeah,
and running
that's
and
weird
stuff.
to have a
So,
bridge that has a gate at both ends, you know, and not have it be somebody's property.
right. So, and most dogs are trained to protect their property. So
well, yeah. Good point.
I know when I was growing up that wherever we lived, the German Shepherd we had and the ones that my mom had after that one passed away, they knew their property line, and you could literally stand 1 foot away from the end of that driveway, and the dog would sit on that driveway and not cross that line to get you. But if you crossed that line and stepped onto that driveway, you just made a mistake.
Yes, but I think a dog like that shouldn't be out in the public on its own without the master, without the owner.
I don't agree. If it's protecting its property, it has every right to be running around protecting its property. You come on its property, that's your
But
problem.
wasn't that bridge a public surface?
I don't think it was. Not if there was a gate at each end like that.
Yeah,
Ah,
I don't think it
yeah.
was either.
Oh yeah, I forgot the gate. Yeah.
Normally, a gate at each end of the bridge is not a public bridge. Normally, it's like somebody's property. It's really weird if it were a public property. If it has gates at both ends, it's like,
True, I forgot that.
but in any case, marching forward here. Where are we?
Oh, yeah, good question. Where are we? We were kind of jumping all over it.
We were talking about the different things that Henry is starting to do and trying to get Mark to do them with him and kind of testing the waters, I think, as to how far he can push Mark to join him. You know?
Yes.
Because there's a lot that he does right offhand at first before he even attempts to try to tell everyone else, and I think it's not until he
Does the
causes
mannequin.
that traffic accident is when it really starts to bother him.
You're right.
Yeah, there was that moment before when Henry got Mark to throw bricks or stones or what was it at those windows in this
Well, there was
apparently.
that, but he also killed the dog, which was the
Uh,
first thing.
was that the first thing?
Well, he did throw stones. They did throw stones at the windows, but that's something that Mark had enjoyed.
Right, and that's something that's not that unusual.
Yes.
You know,
Uh, uh, Actually, that was kind of spoodow.
Yeah, just a little bit.
but the first step up from that is, when he killed the dog because he didn't kill the cat because I think he thought that Mark wasn't ready for it yet, so he purposely did not kill the cat.
Actually, I got the impression that he was trying to kill the cat, but he missed, and then he made it look like he missed on purpose. Because after he shot, he said something like, "The sight still isn't right."
I think that was just something for him to say, because um, I think he could have hit the cat.
Huh.
Yeah, he could have hit the cat if he had wanted to. He veered off at the last minute,
Because
and
you saw his reaction when Mark said, "Don't hit the cat," and he kind of like grimaced, but Mark didn't see that. He kind of like grimaced and he moved. He moved that contraption from where it originally was, and then
Ah,
he missed the cat.
so maybe he actually did miss it on purpose.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah, he missed it on purpose. He could have hit it if he had wanted to.
Ah, well, I'm glad at least the cat survived.
Yeah, you didn't hear it. Wow!
He's
Yeah.
lucky that the cat survived, or I would have gone and hunted his ass down. Especially since that kitty looks a lot like our little Missy.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, so missed the cat, killed killed the dog, dropped the dummy in front of traffic, causing how many deaths?
Actually, it was said that nobody died, but that it was a miracle. That some people got injured and were hospitalized, but no one was in. No one's injuries were really life-threatening. But
Hmm.
Right. That
yeah,
you that news report that was playing in the background, you could hear that they did. Nobody died.
yes,
And Henry looks disappointed,
yes. Actually, he did look disappointed.
but
Well, yeah, the
uh,
way that camper flipped over, I thought for sure somebody got hurt on that. 'Cause that
oh yeah,
Although one thing I wonder is, from what I saw, they weren't wearing any gloves before throwing the dummy. So how come they couldn't find them by fingerprints and stuff?
well, because they were kids, and I'm sure them being kids, their fingers weren't their fingerprints weren't in the system.
Yes, yes, true.
And who's to say that they ever found the thing that caused the crash to begin with?
Well, how could they not find it? It was on the road, right?
Yeah, but all those cars crashed, and all that destruction. Do you really think they would have been able to point out the cause of the thing when all the people that were there were injured, and probably the first one that was injured was the person in the trailer, and the person in the trailer could have thought that there was a body that was dropped in the road, and there's
Phew,
all kinds of what ifs.
I don't know.
I mean, unless all those cars behind that trailer saw that dummy, I mean, they didn't even see the car in front of them, which is why they all crashed. They were going way
Yeah,
too
but
fast, all of them.
Yeah, but this first one who crashed, who actually ran into the dummy, wouldn't he be interrogated by the police and say that there was, if he said there was a dead body on the road, then the police would have gone to find the supposed body, right?
Right, but they didn't even say what caused the crash over that news thing, did they?
Oh no, I think. So yeah, I find that part kind of strange.
The fact that they didn't know what caused the darn thing to begin with.
Yes.
Well, uh, why is it that they nobody saw the two kids on the bridge?
Well, okay, they were high above the road. The driver was probably focused on the road, so that I would
Yeah, the
say that.
driver was focused on the road, which is why he crashed. if
uh,
if you're any kind of a careful driver, do you think, Tammy? Do you think that if that driver was really focused on the road and a careful driver, do you think he could have avoided that crash?
the camper.
Yeah,
Not. I don't know because that way that thing came down, it didn't really give him anywhere to go to avoid it, and because of the size and the shape and everything of that camper, and the way he had to, the way he ended up jerking the wheel because he thought that that might have been a real person. I don't think he could have avoided it. Now the other vehicles behind, if they would have been paying more attention, I believe some of those could have been um, prevented. I think obviously some of them people were following too close and not paying attention. You know,
Whew.
for the rest of the crash, but the camper, no, I don't think he could avoid it because it just was too quick. There's something there.
I
Boom.
think I think the camper was going way too fast itself too.
It's probably going freeway speed and all something.
Freeway
Think
speed.
about it. If you're going freeway speed, and all of a sudden something's falling in front of you, you think it's a real person.
I feel
I'd
like
like
that
to
was a
see your
private.
reaction.
I feel like that was a private road that wasn't exactly a freeway.
It
And
was a freeway because it even said on the news report that it was on their interstate.
Okay, so they were going for maybe 70, 75.
At this time, probably 55. At the time that this was made, the speed limit was still like 55, 60 at this time. But just think about it. If you were doing 55, 60 out here on our freeway and all of a sudden this thing is dropping and it looks like a real person, I'd like to see your reaction.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a moment of shock when something you don't expect at all just falls down on the road in front of your vehicle. I can imagine getting shocked and not being able to react properly.
And thinking that and it's one thing if you saw like a box falling compared to thinking it's a person.
Oh yes, that definitely makes it even worse.
Yep. All right. Let's. What happened after the car crashes, and what happened next?
What happened next was me saying Spuda!
Well, besides that.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, I know that's probably what happened next when you saw it, but
Uh, yes, I'm sorry.
I think after the accident thing, I think he they get into it and he starts making little innuendos about wanting to hurt his sister.
Ah, true. I think. Yeah. He was apparently planning to kill Connie. Uh, and yeah, that's why Mark spends the night in her room. Uh, yes, and Henry was like, so if I was going to hurt her, what could you do about it? Stay awake all night to watch over her, or something along those words.
Right. He's making little suggestions, and then the parents go out for dinner, and Mark is totally paranoid about them going and leaving all of them alone. And all he can think of is the little remarks that he's made, and then he wants to play hide and go seek.
yep. Yep. And
Yes.
he's concerned about finding her because remarks have been made about hurting her. And of course, he finds Henry tickling her, and then he suggests to tell her a story And then the following morning, he wakes up and he finds out that he's taken his sister to the ice skating rink.
Oh, yes.
So he hurries out towards that way, and that's of course when see him try to get to where they are. Only Henry has swung her towards the thin ice, and she has broken through the thin ice. And I can't believe how people were just standing there. Uh, if I were like one of those people, I wouldn't have just been standing there. I'd have been trying to help. You know, they were just watching her go underneath that. I get it that maybe they were waiting for someone with axes or whatnot, but that by the you know, by them doing that, it took time. You know, that could have been they could have actually been getting her out of there.
And I can't believe that there wasn't anybody at the right angle to see that Henry was just had his hand outstretched. He was not even trying to grab her. You know?
Yeah, actually, I think she was reaching out for his hand, but I think whenever she did touch his hand, he just slapped her hand off.
He just
And
kept he kept it out his hand out of reach, and because of they're making it look like that because of the angle that he was at, nobody could see that he was just keeping his hand out of reach. Everybody thought that he had his hand there and was trying to grab her because where all the people were situated, they couldn't see from the other angle that he was keeping his hand away from her.
true.
Okay. Well, what happened after the ice skating rink? Do you remember, Boris?
What happens afterwards? Well, Connie is taken to a hospital, but uh, yeah, she ends up in a coma, and Mark tries to tell Susan that Henry tried to kill Connie, but Susan doesn't believe him and even slaps him in the face for saying that. Uh, and there was also a moment which isn't even mentioned on Wikipedia when Henry implies to Mark that he poisoned the food in the fridge, which I got the impression that he didn't really do, that he just made it up to stir panic in Mark. Then Mark started to destroy all the food which Henry used to portray him as insane in front of the parents. Uh, so, yeah, after that, Wallace locked Mark up in his home office or whatever that room is.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't think he actually did anything to the food either. I think he, like you said, he was just um
bluffing.
he unnerved Mark so much that Mark went nuts doing that stuff with the food, and I think it was meant to make him look bad. Yes.
Uh, yeah, and oh yeah, there was also a moment when Henry implied he would do something to Susan, and Mark attacked him with was it a knife or scissors or what was it?
Scissors.
Uh, yeah, and Wallace saw that, and Henry made it look like Mark was just attacking him for no reason.
Yep. Henry was very good at playing the innocent.
Oh, yes.
He definitely was good at being that and making it look like there was something really wrong with Mark.
Uh, yeah. So,
Because when Mark was gonna go say something to the father after the mannequin thing, after that accident, after he caused that, you know, he was all, go ahead and tell him, you know, it's gonna be your word against mine, and and he totally was gonna turn. If Mark was gonna say something, he was gonna totally turn it around. So
yeah, he knew he could do that because his family thought they knew him better than they knew Mark, so they would have believed him, which was proven when Mark tried to say something.
right.
Yep. So, and what happened next?
Oh, who? There was something at the hospital. Didn't Henry try to kill Connie at the hospital, or at least he was like looming over her, like he was going to try something.
But he didn't realize his mother was right there.
Ah, yes, yes. I forgot what stopped him. Yeah, that was it.
Ah, yes.
Uh, yeah. So at some point,
And I believe
Susan.
she started asking questions at the hospital
Ah,
about what happened on the ice rink.
oh yes, yes. And Henry was very nonchalant about it, and that's when she starts suspecting, I think.
Yep. Because ultimately, she ends up in going into that shed that uh, he's got. He puts all his playthings.
Yes.
So
And
and finds Rubber Ducky. You're the one. You make bathtubs lots of fun.
uh, is that from Sesame Street?
Yes, it is.
Good, I'm glad I recognized it. Or I'm not sure I recognized it. Maybe I just took a logical guess.
But in any case, uh yeah. Trying to think what comes first. That's right.
She found the duck and Henry arrived.
Well, I'm trying to think what comes first because I thought that he went to her the mom and told her about the fact that he thinks that Henry tried to kill the sister, and she smacked him and told him that he's my son. He would never do that. You know.
Yes, I'm not exactly sure, but I think that was before the scene with the food and what else?
And then he goes and tries to tell the therapist after he calls his father, because his father just tells him to tell the therapist. Well, he goes to the therapist, and guess who is already there?
Yeah, Henry is already there.
So he's like, "Fuck this."
Yeah, and the therapist also believes Henry, which honestly I found that strange. I mean, he may be a psychopath, but he is a kid and she is supposed to be a professional. She should have seen through what he was doing.
And from there is where we see him. Is it at this point that is it at this point that he actually starts to destroy the food, or is that before that?
Uh, I'm not sure, unfortunately.
But oh, okay. Well, ultimately, he does something where he pisses off the father, and the father, um,
I'm
the
sorry, I
father,
got another phone call.
the father, he ends up locking Mark inside a room, and uh, I believe
Okay, I'm here.
the father locks up Mark in a room.
Yes, yes, that's right. I'm not sure when that happens. Maybe directly after the food incident. I'm not sure.
And also, he realizes that Henry is taking the mother down the way a bit because evidently the mother is next.
Yes. Uh,
And Henry said that he was going to do something to his mom, and honestly, he was acting like he was going to do something to her and talking about losing a mother and all that jazz. So
uh, yes, I just forgot in what exact order those things happened.
well, and she thinks that he's gone to this cliff. He attempts to push her over the cliff, and I believe that Mark escapes the room, escapes from the father and the therapist because apparently they are trying to muscle him uh, back, and I believe Mark shows up just in time to fight with Henry, and the mother has to climb up the side, and I guess while they are fighting, they end up going over the cliff, and she catches both of them, and both of them are slipping from them. Both of them are trying to have her pull one of them up, and at the last minute, she chooses to pull Mark up and spoot out.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
she lets her son Henry fall.
Because she already realizes that he's not the good son.
Oh, yeah, well, he literally tried to kill her directly beforehand.
Right.
Yep.
At this point, though, she realizes he is not the good son.
Yes, most definitely. He kind of indirectly confessed having killed his younger brother, which in turn pretty much confirms that everything Mark was saying about him was true, which includes trying to kill the sister and so on.
Yep. Well, and he also was like, "You're going to try to put me away, and all that jazz." I mean, I think she realized that he wasn't a good son when he really angrily grabbed that duck away from her and ran from her.
Yeah, and he made it look like that duck was really important to him only to throw it down the well.
And you know what that well reminded me of?
The ring?
Yep.
Me too. Couldn't help it.
Well, see, the significance of the duck, though, is he said it was mine first.
Yeah.
Uh,
He did
yeah.
not like that his little brother got that duck. It was mine first. See?
Uh, yeah, that somewhat makes sense, but once he got it, if it was so important to him, why just destroy it?
So that nobody else could have it.
Well, yeah, that too. Plus,
Because he didn't want his mom to. His mom was looking for it and admitted she was looking for it after what had happened. And that was going to be her way of holding on to the memory of the
yeah,
little brother. So he didn't want her to have it.
no, and when she told him that he couldn't have it back, that's when he got all irate and took it back from her. He was a little monster. His face really got into that red rage real fast. He showed what it was like with a terrible two child who never left the terrible twos.
Uh, Terrible tooth. Who? What's that?
You've never heard of the terrible twos? It's when you're 2 years old and you're a tyrant and you're just a total little shit to your mother or parents in general. It's a phase that all children go through, and some never leave it.
Ah, well, yeah, I guess.
Sometimes it's at 2, sometimes it's at 5, sometimes it's when you're an adult. You just go through a phase where it's like you have the attitude "fuck the world" and fuck who gave birth to you. Did you go through the terrible twos, Tammy?
Of course not. Me?
Oh yeah, that's right. You're still terrible.
Okay, yeah. Look in the mirror.
uh, uh, I'm actually not sure what I myself was like at the age of 2.
David still is.
Not no. I'm not still 2.
Oh, that's right.
I'm
You're
4 years old and I'm more intelligent than the rest of y'all. No, just kidding. But in any case, no, I fully believe in keeping a candle to your childhood years, even up until you're 80, because the minute you lose that that childhood wishfulness and the chance to dream and the chance to be able to play is the minute you give over your humanity. So that to me is important. I'm not saying act like a child until you're dead. I'm just saying keep your humanity. Just don't be a tyrant.
Well, yes, pretty much.
If you're always gonna act like you're better than someone else, then I don't want you then anywhere near me. Sorry, there's the door.
True.
But in any case, I believe we are now at the end of this picture. Oh, what did y'all think about the production? Starting with you, Tammy.
I thought the production was pretty decent. I mean, I think Macaulay's character, I think he did a good job. I mean, I think he was definitely believable. I think he played his part very very well. He knew how to act it. Um, I think, which makes you wonder since he acted it so well, was it all an act?
True.
Oh, nice thinking.
um, as far as the backgrounds, the scenery, and all that stuff, I thought that was pretty decent, and I think the different scenarios that they thought of for the things happening for the things that Henry did, I thought they were good plots. I think whoever wrote it up came up with some good ideas, some good plots for it, and I just think I think it all fell into place nice, and you know the background sceneries and stuff were pretty cool.
Okay.
So, and I think
Hmm.
even the little girl Connie, I think she did a good job. She didn't have a whole lot of parts, but I think what she did have, I think she acted like a typical little girl at that age, um, and of course Mark, um, yeah, I think Mark did really good too. And being the situation he was put in and everything, and um, it's like how would you react? How would you try and get somebody to believe you?
Yeah.
So
Huh, pretty much.
yep, I think it was good.
Okay. What about you, Boris? What did
Oh,
you think about production?
I also thought it was very good. Macaulay Culkin's performance really was amazing. Like, as some people would say after watching Home Alone, you just cannot imagine him playing a really evil kid until you watch this, which is really very impressive.
Although he was pretty evil to the wet bandits. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, someone once made a joke that in this movie Harry and Marv would die.
oh yeah, they would barbecue in hell or something like that. They
Yeah.
get more than a hot foot.
Yeah, actually, some people did say that even as Kevin McAllister, he actually was a little psychopathic, but it was portrayed in a more comedic light.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Oh yes, that's a good part too.
Uh,
I kind of wish that movie existed as a whole.
but in any case, is that pretty much it then for your
Whoa, wait a minute. Philippe, the movie that he was watching on TV in Home Alone is a real movie.
It is.
Yeah,
I thought there was only that one part
it
for
it
Home
was
Alone.
actually a spoof of a real movie. Um, they actually acted some parts out to make it seem like it was the angels with the dirty faces, which is actually a James Cagney criminal movie, movie from Warner Brothers. It was a spoof of that time period. It was not a real movie.
Oh,
Uh,
interesting.
to be fair and honest, Tammy, they spoofed the title of James Cagney's movie, and
Oh, I thought it was like a real movie that he was
no,
watching on TV.
no, they made you think that it was, but um, it was an entire spoof on the Roaring Twenties era. Uh, that they just ended up making it funny with him rewinding it whatnot. Um, but I think the title was a little bit different than Angels with Dirty Faces.
In
Um,
Home Alone, it was Angels with Filthy Souls.
yes. So, but it was spoofed on the title Angels with Dirty Faces, which is an entirely different crime film, but it was from like the 1930s and 40s. So,
Oh,
um, I believe it had James Cagney in it, and um, who else was in it? I know Bogart, Humphrey Bogart was in it too. So, um, but it was basically spoofing Bogart, um, in with a little bit of Casablanca in the mix. But in any case, as far as the production of this film, I liked it. I thought that Macaulay played the psycho kid very well. Um, I thought that Elijah Wood, for as young as he was, definitely portrayed the emotions that a child, you know, how can a child react to a situation like that? I mean, the kid's mom died. His father goes off and leaves him with family that that he probably hasn't spent that much time with. You know,
oh yes.
so um, I thought the homemade shooter that Macaulay had actually was slightly cool, even though I do not agree with killing animals like he did.
Oh, of course. Uh, I don't agree with killing animals either.
I mean, I don't agree with making dummies and making cars crash. I don't agree with throwing your little sister on some thin ice. even though there were days where I swear Heather and I were at fought like siblings. uh, and I know you're an only child, so you don't have any brothers and sisters.
True.
Haven't had that opportunity where you've had sibling rivalry to deal with.
Mhm.
Where sometimes you feel like because you're the youngest, the oldest gets all the good stuff. But in any case, I do like I do like how the sister was. She seemed like a regular sister, and she just wanted to be loved by her brother. I think, and I think she started to get scared of her brother as time went on. But you could tell that the daughter had a very good relationship with her mother because they were, what was it, cooking the one night. Um, but
Mhm.
in any case, didn't really seem like the father was really all that involved with the kids all too much, does it?
Who actually, or maybe we just didn't see it on screen, but who knows?
Well, we definitely didn't see him scream, did we? Anyways, um, so I believe the music was done by. I swear I saw the name. Let's see, IMDb. Thought I saw Bernstein on the name of the guy who did the music, but let's see. Uh, Good son. Okay. All cast and crew, writer, producers, composer Elmer Bernstein. I was right.
uh, yeah.
And I know we've, okay. He was on the part of the music behind Wild Wild West. Oh, that's where we heard of him from. That's right. To Kill a Mockingbird. We just
Ah,
recently
yes,
watched the movie. So
yes, and that was what gave me the idea to choose this one.
yep, Elmer Bernstein. He did a lot of stuff from 1922 to 2004 because he died in 2004. Um,
Oh,
but he was behind. He was behind To Kill a Mockingbird. So in any case, uh, let's go into favorite scenes and our favorite characters. Let's start with you, Tammy.
Oh boy. I guess my favorite character would be Mark.
Okay.
Definitely because of his innocence, and he's put in such a spot. You know, because nobody's gonna believe him because they all believe Henry is the good son. You know. Um, I like the end when you know, when she has to choose one, but before that, she's holding on to them both. At, at first, they started to move and when they started, fighting and all that. and
Yes.
and the mom, Susan, she's fighting and fighting to get up that cliff, and that was, very that ending was a very climactic moment,
Yeah.
So
Okay. Heading
Most
over
definitely.
heading over to you, Boris. Favorite scene or scenes and our favorite character.
Well, while Macaulay Culkin's performance was really amazing, it's kind of difficult to choose Henry as the favorite with everything that he did. So yeah, my favorite character would probably also be Mark, mostly because of how he was persistent at trying to prove the truth. And he was brave enough when he had to be. I kind of wish we got more insight into his psychology, like this guilt that he has about his mother's death, so thinking he could have done something about it, and so on. The movie kind of gives some implications about that, but doesn't really go very deep into that matter, which would have been interesting to explore further. But my favorite scene, well, of course, the ending was very interesting when Susan had to choose which one to save. But I also liked the confrontation between Susan and Henry at the shed. That was quite intense, but also, even though it's bad, I kind of had fun with some of the scenes of Mark and Henry goofing around at the beginning. Okay, I didn't like when he tried to kill the cat, and when he killed the dog, I didn't like those things, but I did like the scene when they were throwing bricks at the glass in that old warehouse or whatever it was. That was funny. And the scene with the dummy was maybe not supposed to be funny, but it was a spoof, so I couldn't help finding it a little funny. uh, so yeah.
Okay. Um, I guess my favorite character would also be Mark. You're right, Tammy. He's definitely got some innocence about him, and he's definitely put in some situations that a child of his age should probably never be put in. Um, and I guess one of my favorite scenes, even though Henry is not my favorite character, is when he drops the dummy and the look on his face that his he slowly starts to smile like the Cheshire Cat. Um, while the cars are crashing, it's like music to his ears. Each car crashing, and for some reason, I get a kick out of that, even though I know it's wrong. Um,
Yeah, that's kind of the moment when Kevin McAllister smiling that way stops being cute.
right. That's when
Yeah.
you feel like you want to go to the mirror and go like, ah! But in any case, hopefully you folks have enjoyed our lovely discussion on this definitely classic movie. It's from 1993, so that this was definitely a little bit older. Um, well, at least from the age that I was watching, you know, really starting to pay more attention to cinema uh, at the time. Uh, hopefully, you liked our discussion. Oh, if you haven't seen the movie, go see it. let us know what you thought of the movie down in the comments, and we'll definitely be back with something cool and something with teeth next Sunday. So,
Huh.
because Tammy was not wrong in the fact that we're covering the Jaws franchise.
Oh,
So Jaws 2 will be next Sunday. And
fair
then
enough.
a week from there, we're going to continue the courtroom dramas. And we're going to do Inherit the Wind. So keep that in mind. Unless something else comes up, with which I guess we'll let you know, Boris. But if nothing else comes up, that's the way the cookie will crumble, at least until till you choose a film after that. So, but in any case, like, share, and subscribe. Let everyone say good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Septum Sin versus the world. It's that place for all the boys and girls. You'll feel real safe, you'll feel real warm. It's a cozy place to ride out the storm. Septum Sin. Septum Sin and his best boy Jake see the trends that scare us every day. Physical media is going to the side. Doctor streaming will rule the world in time. Septum Sin! Septum Sin!